Some students at Kentucky State University are in limbo after another budget change by the Trump administration. Federal funding for a scholarship program at historically black colleges and universities has been frozen. Thanks for joining us here at 6:30. I'm Alex Dieterer. WHAS 11's Clarice Shaley and photojournalist Aspen Hester spoke with a former president of KSU. Clarice joins us now in studio. And Clarice, what did he tell you about the possible impacts?
Well, Alex, this scholarship program covers full tuition, fees, room, and board for the student, so the freeze has the potential to put them in a tough spot. The program is called USDA's 1890 National Scholars Program, which has been in place for 30 years. The scholarship is given to students who are pursuing degrees in agriculture, food, natural resource sciences, and other related fields. Raymond Burse served as Kentucky State University's president and is now the president of Louisville's NAACP chapter. Burse told me, although the program is offered to HBCUs, the program itself is not restrictive on race.
When I was at Kentucky State, in terms of students that were in the program, probably almost half of the students were in fact non-black students. I guess for the folks who put the freeze in place, they're probably thinking that they're in fact impacting African American students, or this is a program that's restricted to African American students.
Laws were passed allowing scholarship programs like this for HBCUs and similarly for white institutions. Burse says he has not seen a freeze for these programs at white institutions. Kentucky State University is the only HBCU in the state that is a part of this National Scholars Program. And Alex, I did reach out to the university to ask what students need to know moving forward. The university told me they don't wish to deliver a comment at this time. Live in studio, Clarice Shaley, WHAS 11 on your side.
All right, thank you, Clarice. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear is sounding the alarm about potential cuts proposed to Medicaid by House Republicans. Right now, House Republicans are crafting a budget package that includes President Donald Trump's top agenda items. That includes boosting border security and extending his tax cuts. To pay for it, the GOP is looking at making deep cuts, and a large chunk is expected to come from Medicaid. Governor Beshear is taking to social media, saying that these cuts will hurt the most rural parts of the state.
Medicaid is the driving force behind rural health care. Without it, we'll see hospital closures. We'll see losses of jobs for nurses, doctors, and everybody else who works in those facilities. But the worst thing is we'll see our families having to drive 2 hours sometimes just to get a regular appointment to keep them healthy.
The committee that oversees the health programs is tasked with cutting $800 billion, and again, most of which is expected to be cut from Medicaid. However, this goes against rhetoric from President Donald Trump, who insisted he will not touch Medicaid. Despite this, President Trump has already endorsed the House Republican plan. Meanwhile, in the Senate, Kentucky Senator Rand Paul is blasting Democratic efforts to rein in Elon Musk in the Department of Government Efficiency. Democrats used an overnight session on the Senate budget bill to propose amendments, which included barring tax breaks for billionaires, reversing DOJ firings of public workers and program cuts, preserve Medicaid, and help Ukraine. Senator Paul blasted the moves on the Senate floor and called the efforts attempts to prevent DOJ from doing work to cut waste.
This is an amendment that says it's okay to spend $2 million in Guatemala on sex change surgery. This is an amendment that says it's okay to look the other way. Transgender comic books in Peru are great. This is an amendment that says it's okay to do trans operas in Colombia. This is an amendment that attacks people who are looking to save our money and spend it on legitimate diplomacy, not crazy, loony, left-wing ideas.
None of the amendments proposed by Democrats were approved. Paul did, however, side with Democrats who voted against the Senate budget bill. The Kentucky senator argued the bill promoted more spending instead of cutting. Today, Metro Council member Ben Reno Weber expressed a new twist on KFC's decision to leave Louisville for Texas. Yum Brands just announced KFC's U.S. corporate headquarters is relocating from Louisville to Texas. The company said it's an effort to foster greater collaboration among brands already at the KFC and Pizza Hut global headquarters. Today, Ben Reno Weber told us it's disappointing the company is leaving, but we're focusing on the wrong thing.
KFC built this amazing culture, right? But at the end of the day, they're spun out of Pepsi, all the rest of their headquarters pieces moved away from here, and we should celebrate. Look, we can create companies that size.
KFC's move impacts about 100 employees here locally over the next 6 months. Some traditional public school districts would be considered to be required to share referendum tax dollars with charter schools under a new bill in Indiana. These are dollars collected from local taxes imposed by the school district. The bill's sponsor says that charter schools are public school, but they don't get the same level of funding. She says these schools deserve the benefits from local property taxes. However, those against the money going to charter schools argue the bill creates a scenario where two different school types must compete for the money.
What is enough? Do we stop when we run out of money, or do we keep taking away from those traditional public schools that need those resources, that need to recruit some of the best students, that still educate over 90% of our kids in this state?
Despite charters being public schools like their traditional counterparts and having extensive oversight and transparency, charters do not receive the same funding. This legislation is to address that disparity.
A mix of Republicans and Democrats voted against the bill, but it did ultimately pass by 3 votes. It now advances to the House. And new here at 6:30, Louisville Water Company is working to make repairs after a water main break in South Louisville. You can see right here the impact of the break. Several cars were submerged in water caused by the break on 3rd and West Kenton Streets. According to the company, the 16-inch water main broke around 8:30 this morning, and they do not know what caused it yet. The company said 11 customers would be without water service as it works to make the repairs, and that includes homes and businesses. Louisville Water Company said their goal is to have water service restored by midnight today, and crews will be on site throughout the evening. They'll be back in the area tomorrow to finish the repair and fix the roadway.